It's 2011. You see, people say that bowling is on the decline. Some say bowling might even be dead. The problem us bowlers have with that is, well, it's all we know. Meet Jake Peters and George Gohagen. Two totally different styles. Jake's right-handed, George is left-handed. But on this day, it just doesn't matter. They're both bowling in the finals to win the inaugural InsideBowling.com Open. They earned the right to be here by beating an elite field of players. Jake got the best of George on this day, but they're both at the top of the youth talent pool and will face each other again sooner than later. Now looky here, 2012, the second episode of the InsideBowling.com Open. See the guy on the right? Yeah, that's Jake Peters. We call him 1.5. Because on this day he was defeated by 20-year-old hometown hero Daniel Spink. How did that $5,000 taste, Danny? Today, we're back in St. Louis at Tropicana Lanes for yet another installment of the InsideBowling.com Open. St. Louis is rich with bowling history, home to Bowling Hall of Fame for years, home to the world-famous Budweiser bowling team, and home to, of course, bowling icons such as Bluth, Carter, Orff, Bo Burton, and the Webbers. We invite you, the viewer, to stick around and watch another piece of St. Louis bowling history unfold before you, live, wherever you may be. Bowling is not dead. Bowling is in fact thriving. At least this weekend it is. Over 200 of the country's finest bowlers took to the lanes on Saturday. They were tested, they were stressed, and they were put to the mental test. 16 bowled all day today, battling it out with every competitor in a one-on-one match. Now we are down to just 5. 5 of the best shot makers, the best thinkers, and most importantly, the most deserving. The fans are here, the stage is set, but nothing has been determined. The time has come, everyone's here, and the InsideBowling.com Open starts now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St. Louis, Missouri, Tropicana Lanes. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com, alongside 13-time titleist on the PBA Tour. He's a PBA Hall of Famer, and I'm happy to be standing next to him, Randy Pedersen. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
We are here at the 2013 Storm InsideBowling.com Open. It's been a weekend of awesome bowling, 279 entries. We've seen women, men. We've seen all shapes and sizes, all types of ball roll, and all types of tilts. And we've got a great telecast today. We've got 5 great finalists. Randy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a wonderful tournament to watch for the simple fact that you've had touring professionals, major championship winners from the PBA Tour. You've had some of the most elite amateurs in the country and some great collegiate players. So we've had a mixed bag of just so many different talents, some great bowling, some 300 games. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
And on the intro video, we saw the world-famous Budweiser team, and the last living member of the Budweiser team, Ray Bluth, is here in attendance. We'll see him throughout the broadcast. He's sitting in the front row. But at this point in time, let's go ahead and take a look at our finalists here today, our top 5 finalists here at the InsideBowling.com Open. Our first finalist qualifying in 5th position is Adam Barta. He averaged 222 this week, and he is from Girard, Ohio.
Adam Barta's a beast. He likes to throw it hard. He actually struck out the 9th and 10th frame just to make the top 5.
And our 4th seed is Rob Gotchall. He's actually from Lincoln, Nebraska, and he averaged 227 this weekend.
And these two are really good friends in the opening match, but Rob, lots of power, lots of speed, threw a lot of strikes this week.
And our 3rd seed is Craig Nidiffer from Trenton, Michigan. He averaged 227.
When I first saw Craig throw it on Saturday, I said, you know what, this kid's got the ball rotation to bowl really well in this oil pattern. Sure enough, he's a 3 seed. Or excuse me, the 2 seed.
Our 2 seed is Brad Miller, actually, and Brad Miller finished 3rd last year. He averaged 227 this weekend, and he is from St. Charles, Missouri.
Very simple game. Brad Miller likes to just roll his hand underneath the bowling ball, kind of a down-and-in player. He's got power. He's got finesse when he needs it. Just a shot maker.
And our number 1 seed, everybody knows him. He is Bill O'Neill, averaged 229 this week from Longhorn, Pennsylvania.
I've heard of this guy. major championship winner on the PBA Tour. He was the odds-on favorite coming in, and he's in the most enviable position, being the number 1 seed.
Absolutely he is. So we've got a packed house here. The players are warming up right now. When we come back, it'll be match number 1 from St. Louis, Tropicana Lanes, at the 2013 Storm InsideBowling.com Open. Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri here for the Storm InsideBowling.com Open, a $50,000 prize fund here this weekend. $50,000, Storm and Budweiser. Thank you for the sponsorship. Now, standing by with the bowlers is our colleague down on the lanes, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, CDB.
Welcome to Inside Bowling. Adam, you found yourself in 6th place. You're out of the show. You struck in the 9th and 10th, and if I may say so myself, you high flushed it.
Yes.
What were you thinking at that moment?
Just when he opened up in the 9th frame and I saw that, if I could strike out, I could force him to double, that, never give up and never say die, and, whatever happens, happens. But ended up working out. I mean, I threw 4 really good shots. The last one I got lucky to carry, but that's the way it goes, and here I am.
Everybody needs a little look. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob, you're in our 4th position. With 3 games to go, you really weren't even close to the top 5. What did you do differently?
I just told myself to stay in the 1-3 and try to hit the hole and just try to win matches. That was my biggest thing today. I wasn't winning some matches and just need to win them down the stretch.
Excellent. Well, good luck today, and back to you, Randy, and let's get started.
Randy Pedersen, Mike Flanagan here with you, and we're getting ready to get started with match number 1. I believe both of the players will be making their way over here in just a moment. Randy Pedersen, I'm excited to be sitting next to you.
I'm excited to be sitting next to you, but not only that, excuse me, to have Carolyn Doran-Ballard, a.k.a. the Honey Badger, joining us. I mean, this is like Christmas.
Oh, look at the hug right here. Not a hand hug, but just a regular hug by Adam Barta. So it looks like Rob Gotchall, I believe, is going to start the match.
These two are good friends. They bowled the USBC doubles together, bowled really, really great, missing the top spot at the USBCs in Reno by only 30 pins.
Okay, it looks like they're putting their names in here. They actually got to figure out who was going to start on what lane. Looks like they're good to go. Looks like Adam Barta is actually going to start the match. For you, Randy, when you made television, did you have any preference if you started the match on the left or the right, or did you like to have your opponent finish or start?
Well, when it was my choice, as you see Adam's first shot leaving a ringing 10, I always went with the lane that favored me the most, the lane that I had the best look on. If it was the same look on both lanes, then I would usually have my opponent finish first. I liked finishing the match.
Barta covers it up. Barta, a great spare shooter, bowls great on tough conditions. No surprise there. Adam Barta, 9 spare to start the match. You get a look at Rob Gotchall. Looks like he is throwing a rotogrip ball.
I think that is a Defiant Soul, if I'm
That's what it looks like to me.
Seeing it correctly.
Adam Barta, of course, on hammer staff. Rob Gotchall with Storm. Home court advantage.
And off to a nice start. You could see the direction these balls are going in on this 44-foot oil pattern, pretty heavy volume. I thought it was an ingenious pattern that you came up with. Mike, kudos to you for, kind of showing guys like myself a little more old school bowling. The players never got left of third arrow at any part of this tournament. I thought that was pretty spectacular.
Well, there's Rob. There's Maximum Bob as Robert Smith, but there's also Maximum Rob here today as he opens up with a double. I'm sure Adam Barta here doesn't really want to be bowling this guy as he doubles with him, as you mentioned, at the USBC Open Championship. They're wearing actually the same shirts that they wore in team event.
Both of these players, obviously very accomplished players, really good bowlers. Adam likes to go a little straighter, a little more down and in, but obviously Rob Gotchall can play that same shot. But both players just very sound fundamentally. They've done a lot of traveling together. They've become very good friends off the lanes, and that's why they formed that doubles team this year.
So now here's Barta up in the third looking for a double. Both players are having the ball enter the pins just kind of on the light side. Do you think that that's just because they're so fresh right now with the fresh oil pattern?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the thing to watch for is the front part of the lane breaking down, and you'll see that ball check early, and it'll start to try to drift high, and that's when the players will start to chase that and move in. But they're going to make parallel moves. They don't want to move in and then start opening up this oil pattern.
Gotchall perfect through two, looking for an opening triple. What happened there, Randy? Good shot.
Yeah, it was a good shot, but the messenger denied as the head pin comes across and misses the 10 pin. And again, you just said it, that the balls look like they're coming in a little bit light, even though, Rob flushed the first two. Could also be a little bit of carry down, the oil moving down the lane a little bit. We saw Adam Barta go back-to-back light shots, but it was a little reminiscent of Dick Weber tripping that 5-7 out.
Gotchall covers it with no problem. These two guys are not going to be nervous. These two guys are two guys that I could potentially see running a stepladder. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, and there's something to be said about momentum. You get a win under your belt. You know how the lanes are breaking down. You've got your nerves under control. You're taking on a player that is coming onto the TV pair after this match. He's fresh. He hasn't seen the oil pattern, even though he gets a couple of practice balls. But he's got to battle the changes and the nerves. These guys, they're already settled in.
Well, Rob Gotchall's got a great ball reaction. That ball is working great for him, and that time he does get the shrapnel to come off the sidewall. And now we'll see if Adam Barta can get in here and get to striking himself here. As you can see, through 3 frames, each one of them, 1-9 spare and a couple of strikes in there as Rob Gotchall gets his third in the fourth.
Well, Adam Barta can get off to a quick lead here with another strike in the fourth. That would be 3 in a row and one short of a ham bone.
Love this view here. Barta comes in light. I've watched Adam Barta bowl quite a bit, Randy, and I saw him at the TMBA Reed Hawthorne where he actually repeated 2 years in a row and they came up short this year. Adam Barta, typically in a match like this, every once in a while he is going to ramp up. He's got a lot of friends and family watching from home. He's a family man. He's been traveling a lot out on the road. And for him to come in here and just drive 13 hours to get here to St. Louis and bowl this tournament, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm happy to see him here and here in the finals. He covers the 2-8.
Well, anytime you talk to anybody that knows Adam Barta, they'll all say the same thing. He's a class act. He's a great guy, and obviously a great bowler. So it's sometimes good things happen to good people. We talked about the fact that he struck out in the 9th and 10th frame of the last game just to get into the top 5. So good for you, Adam. Well, let's take it to the next level and win a couple matches and bowl for the title.
Ball coming right at you here. Comes in light again, leaves the 2-5, Randy.
And you can see just how quickly that oil is pushing down the lane and how quick these lanes are changing. Remember the 2 shots previous to the last 2, he went light, but he mixed all 10 pins up. Now it's 2-8 and the 2-5. So he's going to have to make an adjustment the next time we see him on the right lane.
Notice Del Ballard in the background, Jeff Carter. Ooh, it's a little close.
Welcome back to Inside Bowling. I'm here with Roger Nordic, the Director of Marketing for Storm Bowling. Roger, Storm is so involved at the grassroots, and just like this, Inside Bowling, live streaming. Tell us about some of the events Storm is looking to get more involved with throughout the year.
Well, as you know, we're really passionate about bowling, specifically competitive bowling. That's why we got on board with this tournament. Mike Flanagan's a great promoter. All his staff here and the staff at Tropicana Lanes put on a great event this weekend. It's going to be an exciting finals, so we're really excited about getting behind more events like this and possibly doing more live streaming. And specifically, we have a few events coming up too.
Excellent. Well, now Storm is not only involved with just like bowlers events is what I want to call them.
Yeah.
You're involved in a lot of other things at the grassroots, the military, some charity events. What is that all about with Storm?
Well, we have an event coming up on May 31st. It's not really open to the public, but what we did is this is our second annual Wounded Warriors Project, and we got with the MWR program, which is all the different military armed forces, and at Bethesda Naval Base, Walter Reed Naval Base, we're going to get together. We have 60 Wounded Warriors. We're going to get bowling equipment from Storm and a bunch of our industry partners. And it's going to be a great event. All the industry got together to help support it. So we have that, and then Bowl Expo coming up. We're going to allow all the consumers to take a look at this event, see all the new products coming from Storm, Rotor Gibbon Master at Bowl Expo, and then as well as a true amateur tournament that's going to be as well in Las Vegas from June 30th to July 6th. So we'll be live streaming all those events coming up as well.
Excellent. So Storm's very involved at the grassroots, and as you can see, they're not only the bowlers company, they help many other people, especially the military, and some other charity events throughout the country.
So Randy, we're back to action here with Rob Gotchall and Adam Barta. Rob Gotchall up on the right lane. He's looking for a double here in the fifth frame.
And with that hit right there, Rob Gotchall just increased his lead to 13.
Neither one of these guys are big boomers. They got plenty of rev rate to get the ball to hit, but neither one of them you would really classify as a cranker per se.
Well, I mean, not on this oil pattern. I think that Rob Gotchall can certainly move in and open up the lane probably a little bit more than Adam. Adam's got a little bit more ball speed, a little more forward end-over-end roll, but I think both players are still pretty versatile guys, and I think they're playing the lanes the way they're supposed to be played. And now Rob Gotchall finally goes light. We saw Adam do that in back-to-back shots.
Rob Gotchall from Lincoln, Nebraska. A lot of people think he went to actually Nebraska, but he did not. He just bowls with a lot of the folks that come through the University of Nebraska program, as Rob Gotchall is one of the best megabuck bowlers out there. He has won the Grand Boot Hill twice, and we will actually be live streaming the Grand Boot Hill this year in June, which is Woody Dimma's event. Fair conversion there, no surprise. Rob Gotchall. Now Adam Barta coming out of commercial break here. I don't know if Adam Barta's ever come out of a commercial break before.
Legally,
right. Get a look at the trophy up there, too. It's actually a half of a sink bowling ball provided by Storm.
And there's the adjustment after going back-to-back light in the fourth and fifth frame. Adam finally gets the ball up into the 1-3, a little bit higher up there as you take another look at that beautiful trophy. Adam gets that 6 to go to the sidewall and kick that 10 out nicely.
Barta Nation certainly watching at home. Marcy, Logan, and Blake, and the rest of the family. Pete, of course, watching Adam bowl.
Well, there you have it. There's the adjustment, and that's why these two players are so talented. Took him 2 shots to make the right adjustment. He comes back with back-to-back strikes, and now he's only trailing by 2 in this match.
We have a live chat going on, too, and people say it's not an eagle, it's the egg.
Nice. Like that.
Take a look at where Rob Gotchall starts up here, Randy. He's starting towards the extreme right side of the lane here. Drifts a little left.
And again, this is a transition that, you know, all players go through. All great players recognize that they make the adjustments. You can bet that Rob's going to probably start inching a little bit right if he hasn't already to try to get his ball to face a little bit stronger into the pocket. The other thing about great players is they're good spare shooters. And we haven't had an open frame yet by either player. I don't expect to have one.
Not out of these two guys. No, I wouldn't say that at all. I totally agree with you.
To be at this level, you have to be a good spare shooter. And because of this demanding oil pattern in this event, there were no gimmies out there. You missed the pocket, and you left yourself the bucket, the 3, 6, 10 for right-handers, 10 pins, 7 pins, whatever. Couldn't just throw it all over the lane and make spares. So when you weren't striking, you had to make spares, keep yourself in it, and then really, really munch on the good pairs.
As we're through 7 frames here, Rob Gotchall has come in not quite as light as Adam Barta. He's got all 9 counts. And Rob delivers there.
Yeah, and there's the adjustment. So he finally moves far enough.
Just take a look at Ray Bluth. Wow.
Ray Bluth, Greg Sternberg. Greg Sternberg actually works here, and they're having a good time there. They've been here all week, hosting this tournament. They haven't had a tournament come through here since the PBA days. They used to host the Toyota Classic here, and they were really happy to see such great bowlers come through town. Now, this pattern is not easy. It's a 2.3 to 1 ratio, Randy, but these guys are making it look easy, getting to the pocket at least.
Well, when you look at the overall averages by these first two players, Adam averaged 222 over 24 games, and Rob Gotchall was at 217. And quite honestly, I thought the scoring pace was perfect. I thought that whether you were a high rev player, a medium rev player, a left-hander, I thought everybody had a fair and equitable chance because of this oil pattern. I mean, Del Ballard Jr. at age 49 finished 9th this week. Or excuse me, no, it was 12th.
Was it 12th?
He finished 12th in this event. I mean, that's spectacular.
Adam Barta, after coming in light a couple of times this game, now leaves a 4-9. That's really a bad break, in my opinion, because if you're going up, you're going light, it gets in your head, you go up, you make a great shot, the ball comes off the spot, jerks off it just a little too hard, and leaves the 4-9. I think Adam Barta, though, is the type of guy that can walk up here, move his feet exactly where he needs to. There's plenty of oil, so the ball's going to back into this. I think he's got a chance to pick it. Well, he gets count anyway.
Well, now he's going to be in a situation that he didn't want to get in, and that's trailing once again, heading into the 10th frame. Rob Gotchall, a 5-pin lead, working on a strike and increase it to 15, but more importantly, he can strike out and shut out Adam Barta.
Rob's a cool dude, too. The girls like him. The guys like him. He's got the white belt. And that's why he's cool. He can stone 9 pins.
And that couldn't have happened at a worst possible time. He has Adam Barta on the ropes. He's working on a strike. He throws it perfect. The ball goes right by the 9 pin. If he struck there, he would have just needed good count in the 10th frame, and he would have moved on.
Barta Nation here in the chat are actually saying, where is the 4-pin with it? Got a lot of Adam Barta fans here in the chat.
Well, it was a bad break for Adam Barta, leaving both the 4 and the 9.
This HPL lane surface here is 12 years old. It's not the texture synthetic approach, and we have had moisture here, so it will be interesting to see throughout the telecast whether or not guys have issues with their footing.
I didn't see a whole lot of that the last 2 days of watching the bowling. A little bit on the outside parts of the approaches when players were shooting spares, but I didn't really see that as being a huge factor. Right now, Rob Gotchall steps up in the 10th frame. He doubles, and good count, he will lock out Adam Barta. If he does not double in the 10th frame, Adam Barta can pull off another upset, or excuse me, not another upset, but another come-from-behind win by striking out in the 10th frame. Great shot.
Yeah, Rob Gotchall, max score 227, Adam Barta 222. Rob Gotchall doubles here. This match is all but over. Looks like he's going to take a little extra time here, going to take a re-rack. This is just like TV, Randy.
Icing your opponent. I love it. Although he doesn't really need to do that because a strike here and 6 on the fill shot, and he locks Adam Barta out. So right now it's all about making sure that everything is right, making sure mentally you've got the right thoughts going on, and making sure that the pins come down in a nice, straight, even formation. Last thing he wants to do is leave another stone 9.
Gotchall is taking a lot of time here. No time constraints here. The players were told ahead of time, take your time throughout this broadcast. We're live. It is Sunday evening. We appreciate all of you coming in and watching us here on InsideBowling.com. Rob Gotchall. Well, there it is. That's a winner.
Yeah, and odds are pretty good chance that he can get 6 on the next shot. Well, it was a nice run for Adam Barta, who did some great things just to get to the telecast earlier today. And if you're going to lose to somebody, I guess it's a little less painful to lose to one of your friends.
Yeah, and honestly, I know Adam Barta jokes around a lot, and he was completely joking when he said this, but he didn't give Rob a lot the last game of doubles at USBCs, and he really felt like it cost him an eagle, so maybe this is him gifting back to his friend. Of course, that's completely just coincidental, but wow, look at that.
Well, he needed 6 and he got 6. So
as you see them hug and laugh. This is like a love affair here, Randy.
I can feel it in the air.
I can too. Wow, Adam Barta almost leaves a 5, 7, 10. The 5 and the 10 go down late.
See, I was going to say he almost left the pocket 7-10.
Okay.
You had to take it to another level.
I know. Adam's going to get me for that too. So Barta Nation is defeated. I'm sorry, guys. Please stay with us, though. I know you're half the folks that are watching right now. Is Adam Barta is very popular. He's very popular on social media, and he's won a lot of tournaments, and he's touched a lot of people's lives. He just recently lost his father back in December, and he and his brother Pete still mourning the losses. They were very close to their father, and our condolences still to the Barta family as they were bowling an event around there. What's he doing? He's going to do this thing that he did earlier today. He's going to spin the ball down the lane. Look at this. Having a little fun here. We're going to watch the ball hook about 5 or 6 different times. Earlier, he left a pocket 7-pin doing this, and the crowd went wild. Now, have you ever seen this done on ESPN, Randy?
No, it's forbidden. This is great.
Look at this. Louis got a great shot of the ball going down the lane. All right, so he Greek churches here.
No, wait, the 8-pin fell late.
Oh, it sure did.
Good stuff.
Okay, when we come back, we're going to recap match number 1, take a look at match number 2, live here from St. Louis. It's the Storm InsideBowling.com Open.
In the summer months, St. Louisans can be found partying down at Busch Stadium cheering on their hometown St. Louis Cardinals. Today's Storm InsideBowling.com Open is brought to you by Storm, the Bowlers Company, and by Budweiser, the king of beers.
That first match, Adam Barta, Rob Gotchall, it felt more like a couple of friends bowling against each other.
It really did. I mean, it's tough bowling against your friends, and I used to do it when I was a full-time player on the tour, and it was a great match. And it really came down to the last couple of frames, and it was all about pin carry late. And Adam Barta leaves that 4-9 pocket 4-9 in the 9th frame, and that proved to spell disaster for him. His friend Rob Gotchall gets up in the 10th frame doubles, and that's all she wrote.
Now in the next match, we move ahead. We're going to have Craig Nidiffer going against Rob Gotchall. Craig Nidiffer has a bit of a unique release, and Nidiffer is probably going to cover a few more boards.
He's going to open the line up a little bit more. I watched him bowl yesterday and today. He's got great ball roll for the solo pattern, but he's got a very interesting technique in that when he wants to, he can actually throw a full roller. He can really do a lot of things with his hand, and I don't think that he can be shut out on any kind of pattern, and that's why he can go straight and roll it. He can move in and open up the lane. So lanes break down, he's going to move in. If he's able to, he's going to be able to go just as straight as Rob Gotchall, so it's anybody's game in the next match.
And Gotchall made the trip all by himself. And Nidiffer actually came in town with Ronnie Sparks and also came in town with Kurt Pilon. And Pilon's been a little bug in his ear and almost his own ball rep. So it's going to be a great match. We're looking forward to it. Rob Gotchall's got a great look at the pocket, and we think Nidiffer's going to do real well. When we come back to the Storm InsideBowling.com Open, it'll be match number 2 live here from St. Louis. And it looks like Vince Feeler's giving him the instruction to go ahead and start the match now. Vince Feeler helping us out here this week. Also helps out on the PBA Tour, our friends at the PBA. We appreciate them letting us use Vinny this week, as well as Randy Pedersen.
I would say it's more of a rental.
It is a rental.
Yeah. You're just borrowing.
Yeah, just borrowing.
Vinny and I.
Yeah, you guys come as a little tandem here.
We're a package deal.
Gotchall's going to start the match. Nidiffer wants him to start.
I'm really impressed with the way Rob Gotchall throws it. I just think that he's extremely balanced at the foul line, very athletic move, snaps that wrist at the bottom of the swing, and really gets some good stuff on that bowling ball.
Nidiffer made a deep run at this tournament last year, and Nidiffer enjoys bowling this event. They come all the way down from Michigan, he and Pilon and Sparks. Craig actually bowled really well out in Las Vegas at the World Series of Bowling.
You mentioned Kurt Pilon. Kurt Pilon, a former PBA champion.
I like that ball motion, Randy.
Gotel actually finished 19th for the World Championships on the PBA Tour this past season. Kid's got some game.
Craig Nidiffer from Michigan. Sporting the Storm Triumph jersey. If you go to the Storm catalog, you can see that jersey. It is for sale. You can get the Storm shop at stormbowling.com.
I have one of those.
Nidiffer starts with the right foot in front of the left. Very unusual. That's not unusual, though.
And apparently he's no nerves going on here early on. Craig Nidiffer just steps up and goes bang, bang, back to back. Boom goes the dynamite.
Bada boom.
It's a full fingertip grip. Unusual that he spreads both fingers out, the pinky and the index finger.
That's the first time we've seen Rob go through the face. That just must have been an errant shot.
Well, he went through the face on his fill shot the last game.
True.
To make it interesting. But yes, I'm with you now. It's the 3-6, 9-10, and probably the toughest spare that is a non-split or washout to convert. And it's because of that back pin, the 9-pin. Especially difficult on a longer pattern when you're trying to get the ball to hook into that 3-pin strong enough to cover that back 9-pin. And he converts it perfectly. Doesn't lose any pin count, Mike, because he had a strike up in the first frame. What's going to be interesting about this match is that Craig Nidiffer is much farther left than Rob Gotchall is. And it's going to be interesting to see how he breaks the oil pattern down and what he does to the reaction of Rob Gotchall. Hello.
That's a little French tickler, we call that, I believe.
Okay, well, we used to call that hit him thin and watch him spin.
No,
but
that too.
Apparently, I'm old.
Craig Nidiffer's got it going on.
Yeah, we call that en fuego. Great start. Moves in just a little bit. He's got the classy look going with the jeans and the untucked shirt. And all he's doing right now is just throwing 10 back.
You know, in our tournaments here, we do not have a dress code, Randy, and a lot of people question that, and some people love it. And I just thought that maybe one of these days we might get lucky and get somebody to wear a bunch of meat like Gaga did, and would go viral, and we might have thousands of dollars dumped into the bowling industry. So this oil pattern is starting to get a little bit tricky as players are going high and light, but we've seen players start to go high.
Got some great chat work going on right now. I can't keep my eyes off of it. It's good stuff.
There's Jeff Carter from Storm University. As Storm is starting to do more and more coaching, Jeff Carter came out and commentated almost the entire weekend here with his good friend Dennis Hacker. We appreciate their help.
A nice spare there, Craig covering the 3-6-10. We had a guy make match play. He wore a striped shirt, shorts, and Argyle socks.
Yes, he
Argyle
did.
tube socks.
And people were wondering if it was a what is that, a sleeve, a compression sleeve sock?
No.
That's what people were asking?
No. They were Argyle tube socks. That guy was Ronnie Fujita.
It was Ronnie Fujita.
Couldn't keep my eyes off of his legs.
From Lindenwood University. But back to the match at hand here. Rob Gotchall now. If he can spare this, he's going at a Dutch pace. Not what Rob Gotchall wants to see happen. He wants to definitely start stringing some strikes because the scoring pace today is probably about 220, 225, would you say?
Yeah, I think that's a good number. I think anything in the 230s is going to win a match.
It's nice to have the crowd here, Randy. They're very supportive of this event. You know, I've had a lot of help from a lot of people, and they come out here and they're cheering on bowling. They wish the professional tour was here. It takes a lot of money to do that. We know the state of the tour. We love the tour, but to be able to do something on our own like this and keep trying things like this broadcast here and try to dial some things in, it's really a lot of fun, and I love to showcase the talents of these players.
Well, and let's not forget where we are. I mean, we're in St. Louis. Ray Bluth is here. So you've got a couple Hall of Famers in the building. You've got a major championship winner on the PBA Tour leading your event. You've got some of the best bowlers on the planet, and makes for a great tournament.
Yep, and when we come back, it'll be more from St. Louis, the Storm InsideBowling.com Open. Welcome back to St. Louis. Mike Flanagan, Randy Pedersen here. Second match. Now we're going to go look at Craig Nidiffer coming off a 7 spare where he crept high. Nidiffer opened up with a triple. See if he can get back on it here. Had a little bit of time to collect his thoughts. He went back and talked to Kurt Pelon. And one of the things, Randy, you're enjoying here is we have a chat going on, and you're actually chatting with the fans now.
I love it. This is the best ever.
Not only do we have actual people here as fans, but we've also got several ceiling fans here as well, as you can see on this shot.
Wow. That's good. Look out.
Through the face now, 2 shots in a row, Randy. What do you think's happening?
Well, that shot looked like it needs to be about 3 boards left of that laydown area. He just grabbed a hold of the lane and started going left. It didn't look like he pulled it. It just looks like he's playing a part of the lane that's dried up now.
Covers it up. And now Randy is still enthralled with the chat here, as there is a love-hate relationship going on right now with Randy Pedersen here in the chat. He's loving reading it. He loves all his loyal fans and the bashers as well. It's so much fun here at InsideBowling.com, where we are here truly for the bowlers, and the bowlers love getting into this. I want to thank all almost 800 viewers that we have here right now, and I want to thank all the people throughout the industry that are watching here today. Match number 2. Winner of this match will go on to face Brad Miller, and then our tournament leader, Bill O'Neill. Well, an adjustment there, I'm sure.
Well, after going through the face 2 shots in a row, he starts off with a 3-bagger, and all of a sudden now his ball starts to overhook, so the normal move is to start moving in and try to create a little bit more angle. The problem is on this long pattern with such a heavy volume, when you do that, you run the risk of losing the pocket. That's exactly what happened to Craig.
So Craig now, he opens with a triple, now 3 spares. Gotchall going over to his bad lane this game. We'll see if Rob can get up and double. Ray Blue, Tino DeFranco, proprietors here at Tropicana Lanes. See in the background.
Wow, nice pin action there. That's why you put some good stuff on the ball. As Rob Gotchall just shreds the rack, kicks that 10 out late. Only down by 6 pins.
Has a chance to go up and take a lead in the match here. If Rob can Get a strike, making it a triple.
Can't take my eyes off of this message board now. And I'm kind of hungry, and somebody just, Johnny P types in good bratwurst in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I'm like, yeah, I'm even more hungry now, thanks. Johnny P.
Oh, right through the heart.
And right through the heart, getting a 4 count. How often do you see that? It's the 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10.
Did you see something there? Did it look a little slow off his hand? Maybe he grabbed it a little bit? Or do you just think the oil pattern is starting to evaporate?
Well, what's interesting is that the right lane is the lane that looks like it hooks more, and he goes high on the left lane. And there's a pin in the left gutter that has to be cleared out before he can actually shoot this big, ugly split.
You know, in golf, when you say 4, it's never any good. And in bowling, when you say the word 4, it's never any good.
Yeah, 4 through the middle's never a good thing. You know, in actuality, though, if you remove the 3 pin, now he's shooting the Greek church, right? The 3, 6, or excuse me, the 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 is actually easier to make than a Greek church.
Yes, it is. Sometimes when you get that front pin, it does help you be able to knock down the rest of them. You know, somebody told me once the best tip I ever got in bowling was your best chance to strike is to hit the head pin. That's the common goal in bowling. You have a very hard time of getting a strike if you do not hit the front pin. And in this case right here, to pick this particular split conversion, you need to pick the front pin to be able to pick it.
Still waiting for the pin to get cleared out of that left gutter.
Looks like they got it underway here. The pace tonight's extremely slow. It's a little different than live streaming. I'm out of my comfort zone, Randy. I got to be honest.
I'd like to see him make this and keep it interesting.
Well, if anybody can, Rob Gotchall can.
Yep.
That's what you got to do when you go for that one. But with the flatter pattern, the 2.3 to 1 ratio, sometimes getting the ball to hook back is tough to time.
And going 4 and then 3 is like throwing 2 opens in one frame because he was working on a double, so he lost all the count, and it's an open frame. It's almost like going back-to-back opens in one frame.
So Nidiffer here, if he could double in the 7th and the 8th, he's in cruise control. That's a pretty good shot right now for how this pair is playing, and from what we're seeing, the light tickler, as I said earlier, that's exactly what that was.
It's actually not what you said, but I like that better.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, the lanes are going through transition. They will go through transition during a game, and it's just, you know, the players trying to stay in front of that and making the adjustments before disaster strikes.
I think I'm going to go down in the history of bowling for that comment now, as all the folks in the chat are asking if that's what that was.
Without question, it's on you now. It's your moniker. Great shot. And that's what you do. When you want to take your opponent down, you take advantage of an opening given to you, and that's exactly what Craig Nidiffer just did there. Rob Gotchall opens in the 7th frame. Nidiffer steps up and goes strike in the 7th and the 8th frame. Right now, it's all about Rob Gotchall striking out. I mean, that's got to be the only thing in his mind, is to have any chance I have to strike out and look for an opening. Nice shot.
Well, Gotchall can still shoot 218, and Nidiffer, we've seen Gotchall leave 4. Nidiffer could do the same thing. So on this particular point of oil pattern, actually, you could see anything happen.
Yeah, and you can. And again, it's all about, you know, when the lanes break down. If you're staying on top of that, Craig Nidiffer is in the 220s. Rob Gotchall can strike out for 218. So again, it's all about Rob striking out, putting a little bit of pressure on his opponent.
Well, what do we call that, Randy? The bucket crumbler.
The bucket crumbler.
We've seen a lot of that, actually. So what that means is when the ball gets down lane to try to come off the spot, it's not coming off aggressive enough, and then when the players move right, they're going right through the beak.
Yeah, because the ball checks early in the front part of the lane, they move off of that, and because the pattern's so long and heavy, as soon as they move in and try to create just a little bit of angle, the ball never recovers. Nice.
Is that the British Bulldog?
The British Bulldog. Man, I am getting schooled today.
The British Bulldog Messenger.
The British Bulldog Messenger. We used to call it slapping the dime. British Bulldog Messenger. All right. Oh, that hit right there. Craig Nidiffer now in the 230s. He doesn't even need a mark in the 10th frame. Just good count. And he's going to move on to face Brad Miller. It's over.
Yeah, Randy, we knew that Craig was probably going to be able to open the lane up just a little bit more. Looks like it's going to vault him ahead of Rob Gotchall. Rob Gotchall is going to finish in 4th position after defeating Adam Barta in the first match. Rob will be happy with that week.
Hey, listen, 300 players, you come in, you finish 4th, not a bad week.
Makes for a long weekend.
It's a good weekend.
Well, Nidiffer not liking what happened in the middle of the game there, but able to come out of the gate strong and hustle his way to the finish line.
Big game. He strikes here. He's going to be in the 250s. Just a lot of striking going on for Nidiffer, and one bad frame in the 7th for Rob Gotchall. You give him a strike in the 7th frame, he could strike out and win this game. Instead, it was 4-3, and it proved disastrous and something that he wasn't able to overcome.
Nidiffer has a lot of friends in the chat. Gotchall came down alone by himself. Nidiffer with a group of people, as we mentioned earlier. So Rob Gotchall is going to collect his check. As you see the folks here at Tropicana Lanes, Tino and Ray and Greg, such great people here. Ray Bluth still doing very well in his 80s.
Just an honor to have him here with us tonight. What a great man Ray Bluth is. Part owner of this bowling center, and
also owns another bowling center in St. Louis with his son. His son runs it, Mike Bluth.
he says he still watches the telecast as often as he can, and that's just it's a great compliment coming from a guy like Ray Bluth.
So there you have it. It's 250 for Craig Nidiffer. He defeats Rob Gotchall. Rob Gotchall shoots 196. Coming up in the next match, we're going to have Craig Nidiffer against our 2 seed, Brad Miller. But when we come back, we're going to recap this match and look ahead at the next match when we come back to the StormInsideBowling.com Open.
St. Louis is home to the St. Louis Blues, NHL franchise. Greats like Hull and Gretzky have wore the blue note. Today's InsideBowling.com Open is brought to you by Storm, the Bowlers Company, and by Budweiser, the king of beers.
What a match we had there. Rob Gotchall, a class act as we saw. But coming up in the next match, we've got Brad Miller. And Brad Miller, you like the way this guy throws the ball.
I really do. I think Brad's got a real simple, clean game. Great balance at the foul line. Great arm swing, keeps his hand underneath the bowling ball. He can play any angle. He can open it up. He can roll up the back of it and go straight. I think it's just a really easy, athletic move. I think the kid's a great talent, great bowler.
Recent collegiate All-American, bowling on a flat pattern. Sounds like a good recipe. I think Craig Nidiffer is going to have his hands full. It's going to be a great match coming up. When we come back, it'll be match number 3 live here from St. Louis. Tropicana Lanes, Mike Flanagan and Randy Pedersen. Welcome back to St. Louis. Mike Flanagan here with you. Players still warming up before this match. Randy, Randy, interesting here is Vince Beeler is in charge of the player practice balls, and an interesting part that you really don't think about as a viewer of bowling, of how all this stuff works when you do take commercial breaks. It's what's that like, actually, since you've gone through it so many times in your career?
Well, you know, there's a certain number of practice shots that you get on the PBA Tour, and you want to make sure that you pace yourself. You want to make sure that you get enough practice in, but that once we come back on the air, you're not sitting or waiting too long before you get to throw that very first shot. So you really want to manage your practice time perfectly. Get a feel for the lanes. Make sure that you start the game with a clear picture of what you want to do. You can't start a match going, oh my gosh, am I throwing the right bowling ball? Am I standing in the right spot? Because you cannot second guess yourself or what you're going to do when you step up for that first ball, because you've got the nerves that are firing, you've got the bright lights you're trying to bowl under, and you're trying to pry that bowling ball off your hand without throwing up all over your shoes. You got to have a clear picture going in.
And we see the patented new school handshake there, as Brad Miller was actually giving Jeff Carter and Del Ballard some knuckles there. Looks like Brett has a Storm patch on, and Craig Nidiffer has a Storm jersey on. So Storm well represented here at the Storm InsideBowling.com Open.
And I believe Brad Miller is a Storm staffer.
Looks like he has a Rotogrip Disturbed in his hand from the Utah house. And that's a great opening shot by Brad Miller.
And I tell you what, it's a nice start, but I think when Brad let go of that, he thought it was maybe a pinch too far to the right. But a little adrenaline, maybe a little bit extra ball speed, and the ball froze right in front of the 1-3. Great shot, great opening shot for Brad Miller.
Craig Nidiffer from Trenton, Michigan. I think this is going to be a good match, Randy, as both players open up with a strike. We certainly early on here, Randy, as we know someone in bowling has said for a long time, we have a possibility of a tie.
Wow, that's prophetic. It's the first frame, Mike.
But Bo Burton is from St. Louis, and I told Bo I would get his name in some way, somehow. I got a checklist right here.
Oh, my gosh. We have a possibility of a tie.
Well,
wow.
We do. The people in the chat agree.
All right.
Now here's Nidiffer. Left lane, ball coming at you.
And again, that's what made this oil pattern so demanding. You would think that once the front part of the lane breaks down, you can just move in and kind of throw it to the right. You know, just move your feet, maybe keep your eyes on the same spot and just open up and create some more angle. You can't do it on this oil pattern. You bowl on any other oil pattern, you break them down in one area, and you move left. You find a little bit more oil. Well, that area that you were playing, it's going to be dry there, and so you use that. You use that to get that bowling ball to return off of. And on this oil pattern, it just doesn't work that way.
Got a lot of compliments this week on the oil pattern, as you said earlier, and you're absolutely right. Almost 30 milliliters of oil on this pattern as well on a synthetic surface. It's a lot of goo. Brad Miller comes in light. It's not fortunate enough to have the messenger come over and take out the 10. So once again, Randy, we're right back at it again. Possibility of a tie.
Okay, that's the last time you get to say that until the 9th or 10th frame, okay?
Players might be having a little bit of an approach issue, as I saw Gotchall in the last match was taking his time sliding a couple extra times before every shot. We see Miller doing the same, going cross lane at the 10 pin.
Again, all these players pretty fundamentally sound, good spare shooters. Got to be at this level. Can't strike, you got to make spares, and that's the reason why these players have made the top 5. Overall, these players average for 24 games. They both averaged right at 227. Craig Nidiffer had a 10-5-1 16-game match play record. Brad Miller went 10-6.
Another ring 10. Oh, ring 10 this time instead of the light hit 10 with no messenger.
Well, he's hit the pocket every shot. He's got 1 strike to show for it. That can be a little frustrating, but his opponent hasn't yet strung strikes together. So no big danger yet. Brad Miller is locked in. He's hitting the pocket. Now it's just a matter of him getting the ball to enter the pins the right way to knock all 10 down. Some of the players saying that one side of the house here at Tropicana is a lot warmer than the other side. This being the warmer side has a little bit to do with the approach issues. As the heat goes up, so does the humidity. And we all know that that's not a good combination on synthetic approaches.
Nider for the 3 seed. The loser of this match is going to receive $2,500. Second place, $4,000, and the winner will take home a cool $8,000. Well, just a bad break there, really. I mean, fortunate not to leave the 7-10, but bad break that he didn't knock them all down.
And with a spare, we're all tied up.
Yes, we are, and I don't know what that means at all, Randy.
It's almost like you scripted this match.
Yeah, it's just going to be a tie. We're going to be here till 1 in the morning. All right, so both players probably pretty comfortable here getting through 3 frames. And, I don't believe Brad Miller's ever necessarily bowled on television either. So this is probably about as nervous as either one of these guys are going to be. Randy, do you remember your first time on television?
I do. I shot 150 and lost to David Ozio.
So far these guys are doing pretty well despite, I know it's live streaming. It's not quite what you can turn on in a sports bar, but still with the set here and all the help with everybody and all the fans here, actually, it is a little nervous. Bill O'Neill told us last night, our top seed, that he gets nervous every time, and he said he would even be a little nervous today. Wow, Brooklyn there. What did he do, miss by about an arrow?
He's having some issues on that left lane. Remember, he left a 2-pin in the second frame. Now he goes Brooklyn. His picture isn't real clear on that lane, but it needs to get clear because Brad Miller hasn't missed the pocket. Craig Nidiffer is struggling to hit the pocket on the left lane.
Well, there we go. He gets them all down on that one.
Almost a pocket 7-10. The 7-10 goes late. Brad Miller is in a pretty comfortable spot right now in terms of understanding and knowing what his bowling ball is going to do when it leaves his hand. Little lower rev rate, can roll it a little bit more. He can stay a little bit farther right because of that.
Brad Miller just got one of those games where he sticks a shot almost every time. Brad a little short in stature. It's a little easier to stick those shots compared to a tall guy like yourself, Randy.
Taller players have to use their legs more. And you think about a guy like Norm Duke, who's not very tall. His balance is always very good at the foul line, and the shorter swing, a little more compact type of game.
Well, there's your typical 10-pin, 4-pin situation here, as he did leave the 10-pin earlier. Maybe makes a little bit of an adjustment, wants the ball to finish up a little bit. What do you think?
Well, that wasn't a good shot. He fell off balance, and, that's that left lane that's a little tricky right now. But he didn't go Brooklyn. He only went 4-pin on
that's true.
on a not that great of a shot. So he's in a much better spot right now. He knows the reason why he went 4-pin is because he didn't throw it well. Craig Nidiffer went Brooklyn on that lane, and I'm not sure Craig really knows why he went Brooklyn, especially after going light.
When we come back, we'll have more here live from St. Louis. It's a Storm InsideBowling.com Open. Back here in St. Louis, we are here in the third match here, the semifinal match here, as we see Craig Nidiffer and Brad Miller duking it out here. Craig Nidiffer, we were informed by our colleague, has been using smoother stuff down lane, stuff that all weekend long here he was using balls that lay off down lane, and he's continuing to do so. And his opponent, Brad Miller, actually was using balls with surface, except for this one disturb that he does have. He did find success with, and he went with it, the shinier disturb. So we'll see how this match unfolds. Nidiffer up in the fifth. Pretty good shot there.
Well, in my opinion, he's lost the pair. And a chance to double up there and take the lead, and he goes high and leaves a 4-pin. The last match, remember, he shot 250, and he was in complete control, and the pair has blown apart for him, and he's not really sure what ball to go to, where to stand, and where to throw it right now.
Fortunate to be in a situation where he is tied through 5 frames. With being lost on the pair, I think being even through 5 is about exactly what you would want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other bad part. If you're Brad Miller, I mean, your
Yeah.
your opponent's lost, you haven't missed the pocket, and you're tied.
Right. So important for Miller to keep his composure and not get fried out at that, especially with the Brooklyn earlier as well out of Craig. Well, you know what? He might have found something there.
Let's see if he can sustain that type of reaction for the second half of this game. Brad Miller needs to get back on the gravy train with biscuit wheels and start striking.
Well, that's just an awesome shot there. That ball's facing up to the pin, just absolutely just about perfect, Randy.
Yeah, and the big shot's coming up on the left lane.
Brad Miller from St. Charles, Missouri. He was actually born and raised on the western side of the Missouri State. Came here to go to college at Lindenwood University, was a collegiate All-American, and his girlfriend is a collegiate All-American currently, Amanda Green. They actually bowled the doubles portion of this event together on Friday night.
Well, that was a great shot that he made on the left lane, only to leave another 10-pin. And for Brad Miller, this could spell disaster. Craig's been making micro adjustments on this pair, trying to find a way to get his bowling ball to consistently hit the pocket. Brad's been living in the pocket, and he's yet to double.
Important to get the spare here, though. Pretty good spare shooting thus far out of all of our finalists here. Let's throw it down to our colleague Carolyn Doran-Ballard, who's standing by with Bill O'Neill.
I am standing here, Bill. He is the tournament leader, and he is the one with the most experience. So basically, Bill, what is your game plan?
Well, I've learned over time that I can't worry about my opponent. So my game plan is just to, not to be cliche, but I got to take it one shot at a time and just focus. And that's what happens to me sometimes in title matches and on TV is I lose focus and I get caught up in the moment too much. So I have to just stay focused and just make one shot at a time.
What did you see in your practice shots earlier today? What did you see out there on the lanes?
I actually thought they were going to be hooking more when I came back over, but they weren't. But I still got to throw it a little bit slower. Just not try to chase it too far left. Just keep the same game plan I've had this whole tournament. Keep my lines in front of me, and just try to really roll it.
Well, I think you have enough experience and enough success. You can do it. Good luck, Bill.
Thank you very much.
We see Craig Nidiffer there, does throw the double against Brad Miller. Exactly what you were talking about, Randy.
Yeah, well, you know, he was hanging around long enough. Brad couldn't throw 2 strikes together. Craig finally figured him out and thrown back-to-back strikes. And this could spell disaster for Brad Miller. If Craig Nidiffer strikes here in the 8th frame, I think this match is going to be pretty tough for Brad Miller to overcome.
So can Nidiffer, the Michigan native, capitalize here after finding his first double of the match? Remember, he opened with 250 the last match. Well, it's game on for Brad Miller.
Well, and it was a good shot by Craig as well, just leaving the soft 10. But he's got a better picture now. He's thrown 3 shots in a row that have hit the pocket. Brad Miller needs to now start striking and give himself a chance to win this. Brad can still strike out for 229. Craig Nidiffer is just in the 2-0s. Anybody's game.
Interesting with so many shots hitting the pocket for Miller not to find a double quite yet, as we've been talking about. I think Brad has had a chance to sit down and take a deep breath and think about what he needs to do here. And I look for him to make a slight adjustment. And Brad's a smart player, and I think he's going to be able to come up and deliver the double here.
I mean, if you want to be honest, I mean, he's made 1 marginal shot that was in the 5th frame when he left a 4-pin, and even that could have struck.
So Brad Miller now. Holy Toledo. Are you kidding me, Randy?
Well, that's something you don't see very often, especially with the little angle, is the 5-10 split for a right-hander, especially in today's day and age with the bowling balls being as strong as they are, but that was a terrible, terrible break.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the 5 was almost down.
I thought the pin carry in this building the last 2 days that I saw wasn't that great anyway, but you know, we saw 4-9 in our first match. We've seen pocket 7-10s throughout the weekend, and now a swishing 5-10. Brutal, brutal break.
Brad looks very poised and calm, though, going at the 5-10. Maybe he'll give it a shot. That's all you can do. You hit the left side of the 5-pin, try to send it over to the 10.
Well, there was no maybe give it a shot. He was trying to make that. He needed to make that to give himself a chance to win this match. The best he can shoot now is 206 if he takes it off the sheet. He hasn't thrown a double yet, so that's a tall order. Craig Nidiffer looks like he's pretty much in control now in terms of being able to hit the pocket, and he's already at 208 with 2 frames to go. Brad Miller, big trouble. This game's all but over.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. You know, Brad goes up there, finally makes his first errant shot of the match after not being able to capitalize on his good shots. And unfortunate for Brad, he leaves the 3-pin, and you can just see the look on his face right now that he's a little disgusted with how this match has played out.
Well, he's gotten no breaks through 8 frames. It's like getting beat on with a stick, and you know, after a while, that'll wear a player out. And he comes up there in that tricky left lane and finally goes through the nose.
And let's not take anything away from Craig Nidiffer. We've been talking about him being lost throughout this match, but he's made his spares. He's obviously been able to compete at a very high level out on the PBA Tour. He won his very first regional that he entered, which was just about a year ago. So Nidiffer not a slouch by any means.
No. You don't get this far in this event with the caliber of players that are here by getting lucky.
Well, Craig Nidiffer, he's found the pocket now. Not necessarily the best shape, but, you know, it is effective right now. He needs to keep hitting the pocket, and he is.
9 spare here. Strike, spare in the 10th frame. Or excuse me, any mark in the 10th frame, and he's going to move on to take on Bill O'Neill.
Remember, a lot of money at stake here. A $50,000 prize fund here in this tournament, thanks to Storm and Budweiser. Great great sponsors here. Budweiser provided all the beautiful signage here, the masking units, the signs you see up and down the side of the lanes. Gregel Distributing here locally in St. Louis. Great relationship. They want to support bowling, and we appreciate them supporting InsideBowling.com. We have a large staff here this week as well that's worked very, very hard. The tournament office that we have, Jerry Anderson, Kim Richter, Ashley Cole, Jeff Reed helping out this week. We really appreciate all their efforts up here in the production booth. Brian Burkhardt, of course, all the great work that he does up here. Ricky Matsko taking care of the knobs for us here with the sound, and Matt Turek producing for us here as we get a look at Nidiffer here. Well in control of this match. Coming up left lane.
Ooh. A little lubricity on the left lane, leaving the 2-8.
I like it. Lubricity.
That's a Bo Burtonism there.
Look at Brad Miller there, just so dejected.
Well, you know what? It's not over. Craig still needs to convert the 2-8. If he doesn't, Brad Miller can get up in the 10th frame and strike out and win. I don't think Craig Nidiffer is going to miss this, though.
Going across the lane here. He's hooking it at it. Oh.
Well, you got to hook it at the 2-8 to cover the back pin. Norm Duke's one of the only players I know that throws the ball dead straight at a 2-8. I mean, it's like suicide. On this lengthy oil pattern, though, you don't want to give it a lot of room to the right. And Craig made that with no problem.
You do wonder, though, sometimes if the ball is going to hook in the goo on this long pattern. A little scary. Scary moment for Nidiffer, but Nidiffer is going to advance. It is 2:05 for Nidiffer. Brad Miller gives him a handshake, and the brothers. What is that new shake? What is that? That you didn't see that back in the day on the old ABC telecast.
I don't know what that is. It's confusing.
We could try it up here. We'll get it down before the end of the telecast.
Do me a favor. Don't touch me.
Oh, you got it.
And isn't that normally the case where,
oh, yeah,
you know, Brad had some carry issues, and of course now he's going to strike out in the 10th frame.
We appreciate everyone watching online here at our InsideBowling.com website. Please be sure to come back throughout the year and check for contests that we do and all the other upcoming streaming events. We will be at Bowl Expo with Storm. We'll be streaming live from the Bowl Expo booth. Myself, Randy Pedersen, all the Storm guests will be around, as well as we will be streaming the Grand Boot Hill Tournament, the Proprietors Cup, Billy Isolt's event, and the winner of this event actually is going to get a paid entry into the Proprietors Cup as an added bonus. We thank Billy Isolt for that. Also this week here as well, we have a great relationship with the TMBA. If someone would have won the tournament with a TMBA membership, they would have been eligible to receive another $1,000 from us. Great match here. Two great competitors. Brad Miller is going to go home. He's going to take third place, $2,500 for Brad Miller. When we come back, we're going to recap the match, and we'll talk to Brad Miller when we come back to the Storm InsideBowling.com Open. 1999 was a magical year for the St. Louis Rams as they won the Super Bowl over the Tennessee Titans. Today's Storm InsideBowling.com Open is brought to you by Storm, the Bowlers Company, and by Budweiser, the king of beers.
I'm here with Brad. We just got done with the semifinal match. Brad, in the beginning it looked like you had some good reaction. You got a couple bad breaks during the game. Did the lanes go through a transition, or did you just lose your reaction?
Yeah, the left lane developed a hook spot just a couple boards inside of where I was throwing. I knew at some point in time I was going to have to move in, and when I did, or when I was going to move in, I was going to switch balls, but I wasn't sure. I had a good line of practice, and I just wasn't sure if they were going to break down enough for me to move in. Couple frames into the game, I saw the hook spot really develop, and I kind of wondered, should I move in, should I not? And I tried to stay right, and couldn't get a couple strikes going, and then threw a bad shot, and just kind of had 190.
Well, you still had a great weekend, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Great bowling.
Thank you
I mean,
so
you
much.
got a great game, so great future. And we're going to be back in a few minutes with the championship match and Bill O'Neill.
Welcome back to St. Louis, Missouri, Tropicana Lanes. Look at the Storm InsideBowling.com championship trophy. See Bill O'Neill warming up still for his championship match. It's great to have Bill O'Neill in this field and have him as our top seed. You know, through 2 years we've had amateurs win this tournament. It was Jake Peters the first year and Danny Spink last year. So this is our first real opportunity to see a pro claim the title here as we allow anyone to bowl this event. It's an open event, and Craig Nidiffer is going to try to keep it with the amateurs, and Bill O'Neill is going to try to come in from the Professional Bowlers Tour and do what he does best, which is strike a lot and try to win the title here, Randy.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on Craig Nidiffer. He's going up against a proven winner on the PBA Tour, a major championship winner on the PBA Tour, the obvious favorite to win this event. However, Craig Nidiffer is a very confident young man. He's got a pretty good idea of what the lanes are doing. He's bowled well all weekend long, and I think he's got something to say to anybody that's ready to hand the trophy over to Bill O'Neill. He's going to give Bill O'Neill all he wants. I think this is anybody's game. I think that the smart money would be on Bill O'Neill, but you know what? I like the underdogs.
Yeah, I do too, and I've been watching Bill O'Neill. He has come in light down lane, so that the ball is kind of pitter-pattering there at the end of the pattern, and it'll be interesting to see if Bill O'Neill's ball reaction is the same. Today, when he was bowling through his 16 games of match play, he was actually in on the lane as they started to burn up, and he had a shot. He really turned the juices on about halfway through his block, and that's more of the zone right there as we see him practice where he was earlier. We saw the other shot go just a little bit towards the outside part of the lane when he was coming in light.
O'Neill's got a great touch, a lot of confidence, and he's going to be tough to beat. But again, I don't think you can count Craig Nidiffer out just yet.
So this is it right here. It goes by pretty quick, Randy, with this television stuff. And we are now down to our title match. Craig Nidiffer against Bill O'Neill. I'm sure if I'm Craig Nidiffer, this is probably the last guy I wanted to see in a title match. But he knew coming into this that he was going to have to face him, and I'm sure he's ready to capitalize on this opportunity.
Looks like Nidiffer is going to make a ball change here and he's going to a disturbed, a little more mid-lane reaction, but still smooth overall. Like, it's a great ball choice, and it's a great bowling ball. And if you don't have it disturbed in your bag, you better like finishing second.
He's moved left. So Craig trying to open up this oil pattern a little bit.
That's okay. Leaving the 2-pin, coming in light, that's okay. 9 spare is going to work to start this match. The scoring pace is slowed down. It's going to be interesting to see if Bill O'Neill's going to have an easier go than the other players.
Great spare shooting from all of our bowlers here. A field of 279 players is going to do that. The spare shooters are going to be the ones that advance whenever it is a tough, demanding pattern. So here's a look at Bill O'Neill now. Pleasure to have him in the field, as I mentioned earlier. Bill, a great style of the PBA Tour, top 5 player in my book. And now he is going to try to play the ball in the 15 to 10 tube zone and try not to give it too much room. That's unusual.
That was straight up 10, 11, and he just shreds the rack, leaving a shaker 6-pin. You don't see that very often.
When I went down there earlier when Carolyn was doing her interview there with Brad, I was talking to a couple of the folks down there, some of the avid bowlers here in St. Louis, and they were talking about how lane 48, our championship pair here, has just got a very odd 1-3 combo, and the racks have just been a little bit interesting down there as they sit right up on the pair. A little bit tougher to see from our vantage point as we sit behind 40 and 41. Bill O'Neill, a recent father. Christy and Gavin at home watching. Bill wanted to send out a shout out to them and let them know that he's been thinking about them while he's been here. He even told me, and yourself, Randy, that he was doing some of the daddy daycare here recently since Christy's gotten a new job.
Well, that tricky left lane. And what's interesting is that Bill is your tournament leader. He gets the choice of starting lane, which determines where he finishes. And he chose to start on the right lane, which makes him finish on the left lane. And he just throws a shot, comes back shaking his head after leaving a 2-pin. Bill O'Neill, 4-time winner on the PBA Tour, including the 2010 U.S. Open, 5-time Team USA member, and a 3-time Collegiate Player of the Year. So he's got all the tricks, he's got all the talent, and he's been there and done that. So, again, it's a formidable opponent for anyone, especially a non-PBA winner like Craig Nidiffer. I mean, that's got to somehow get into your psyche and say, wow, I'm taking on a bona fide tour player and tour champion.
Right, but at the same time, you know, he did make the 16, the top 16 out there in Las Vegas the last time the PBA was there, and he bowled against Bill O'Neill. He bowled against these guys, so maybe he's a little more prepared for this. Well, the Disturbed looked good on the right lane.
He's got some great hand action at the bottom of the swing. You see that hand almost looks like he's got about a 6-inch span, and the way he can open up that hand in the backswing and then just kind of rotate through that ball at the bottom of the swing. Gets a lot of stuff on it and creates some great pin carry when his ball hits the pocket.
Need to mention as well that Craig is one of the good guys in the game. He battles and bowls almost every weekend, whatever he can find to bowl. There's not a lot of money in our sport these days, but he's one of the guys out there giving it a go every single weekend, carpooling with people, rooming with others, coming here to St. Louis. It's about a 10-hour drive from Michigan. He'd like to take home that title. That's a good-looking ball reaction.
And there's his calling card. Just handed it to Bill O'Neill and said, it's game on, my friend.
Winner of this event will receive $8,000 with a very large check. As I mentioned earlier, he is riding with Ronnie Sparks Jr. and Kurt Pelon. I hope they can make some room in the back seat for that check if Kurt were to win. But Bill O'Neill's got something to say about that.
Big trouble early on. 9 spare now, the 2-8-10. This is almost a guarantee to open frame for Bill O'Neill, right behind a Craig Nidiffer double.
I think everybody's just kind of shocked here at the fact that Bill O'Neill has not opened up with 3 shots in the pocket, and Bill O'Neill looks a little confused here early on in the match.
Yeah, it's gotten a little quiet here. Bill qualified second and then took the lead pretty early on in match play. He averaged 235 for qualifying and 229 overall, which led all scores by far. But right now, still looking for his first strike, and it's through 4 frames.
Bill O'Neill has sat for quite a while. The players had a warm-up pair on the other side of the building, but it has been a while since O'Neill has been bowling great games and vaulting himself to the front of the leaderboard earlier, as we saw through the 16 games of round-robin match play. Received 30 bonus pins for each win. So good spot for Nidiffer here in the 4th frame.
Now is when you really want to get on top of Bill O'Neill and just start putting boots to him. Open frame for O'Neill in the 3rd. Craig Nidiffer working on a double. It's time to throw 2 more right on top of him.
Almost the same leave that we saw Brad Miller leave in the last game.
Got to be something with that rack on that right lane. It's crazy. There's no way that much power going through the pins could possibly leave a 5-10. And yet, Craig Nidiffer almost did exactly what Brad Miller did in the last match.
So through 4 frames, it's a 25-pin match here in St. Louis. You know, I mentioned Randy, of course, Storm being a great sponsor of this event. Everyone that entered the event this week, it was a $260 entry fee. You received any storm ball of your choice. And, of course, Budweiser, another great sponsor here, providing all the signage and supporting Inside Bowling for the last 3 years, wanting to make our event as classy as possible. Seems like every door we knock on, they let us in these days, and we really appreciate it all throughout the industry and outside of our industry.
Can't do it without the sponsors, that's for sure.
Right through the nose.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We still have a lot of game left.
And that's exactly what you did not want to do to Bill O'Neill, as Bill O'Neill sits on the bench and watches that. That is basically a gasp of fresh air for Bill O'Neill. That is a second lifeline, Regis Philman.
Well, in following that trend, maybe these two would like to phone a friend to figure out what ball and what line to play to get to the pocket. Can't believe we went there. That's so cheesy.
I am cheesy, Randy. Welcome to the cheesy world of InsideBowling.com. Still light.
Well, the last time on that lane it was a 2-8-10. Now it's just the 8-pin. And, you know, when you throw a pretty good shot or what you think is a pretty good shot and it gets halfway down the lane, you start throwing your hands up in the air, that's never a good sign. Bill O'Neill is completely fooled by his ball reaction on both lanes. And right now I'm not really sure he knows what to do.
I don't think this oil pattern has looked this hard for these players until this TV final. For any of them, really.
This right lane's gotten extremely tight for him. He just shot the 8-pin and almost missed it right. And he was like, you got to be kidding me. How is it not hooking? The fear factor is that if he moves right and tries to jam it or go a little bit straighter, that the ball checks early and goes through the nose. The left lane, I have no idea what to do on the left lane.
But Bill O'Neill is fortunate only to be 10 pins down through 5 frames.
You got one lane that won't hook. You've got another lane that if you get it a pinch to the right, goes to the face. If you move off of that, it doesn't hook at all. This pair's broken down and gotten severely wet dry.
And there he is. Was that a ball change, Randy? I
can't see
tell.
that.
Yeah, it's a
We're
little
so far away
difficult to tell.
from the championship pair, it's hard for me to see.
Still a 10-pin lead here for Craig. Important for Nidiffer to go up there and dust off his last frame, going right through the heart. He has not gone high on this lane recently since switching to this ball. Well, he can't do any better than that.
Now the left lane. The good news for Craig is he gets to finish on the right lane.
That is good news. I wonder why Bill O'Neill chose to let Craig finish on that lane.
I don't know. His first strike of the game came on that left lane. His last shot, it's his only strike of this game for Bill O'Neill. And Craig, the last time on this left lane, went big 4. So the usual adjustment is to move left, open it up a little bit. And generally speaking, when you do that, you go light. And that's what we've seen throughout the weekend on this oil pattern. And it was just a little light. I mean, it was good enough to strike with a little bit of luck that could have carried. But again, it's still light, but obviously much better than a big 4.
Now Bill O'Neill's going to have the opportunity to come up and get a strike and tie the match up. Uh-oh. Disaster.
Yeah.
That is something you don't want to do against Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, or any opponent at this level, but you could see he was trying to slide his slide foot on the approach. Again, that was an approach issue, a little bit a little sticking there as he was attempting to shoot the 10-pin, but you're right. Bill O'Neill's going to take a re-rack. He's gone light the last 2 shots on this lane, and Bill's going to make an adjustment and come with his best shot here.
I would think, if anything, Bill's going to make sure he's going to jam this into the 1-3. So if anything, it might be a little on the high side. But what would you do in this case?
I'd move right, and I'd keep my eyes left, and I'd jam it right in the pocket.
I have to agree with you. Let's see what happens. Well, that's a double for Bill O'Neill.
Caught just enough into that swish zone. Bill O'Neill doubles up and takes the lead for the first time in this match.
O'Neill has a max score of 233, Nidiffer 211.
All right, so he actually took the lead when Nidiffer opened in the 7th, but he still needed that mark. But now it is a double. He's working on his last shot on this left lane, high flush. He has to finish on this left lane. Can he go back-to-back flush strikes on the left lane?
There's a break. Fortunate not to leave the 2-4, 8-10, just leaves the 2-8.
Well, that was a huge break. I mean, it was 2-8-10 all the, 2-4, 8-10 all the way. The 4 and the 10 go late. Again, confusing to me why Bill would want to finish on this left lane. To me, it looks like the more difficult of the 2 lanes, and it's proved to be the tougher of the 2 the last 2 matches.
See in the background there, I want to mention Jerry Anderson, tournament director over on the left, as well as Roger Norhook from Storm Bowling Products, director of marketing. Great relationship with Storm here at InsideBowling.com. There's Roger, Jeff Carter, CDB. A lot of big names here this week. A lot of support. Of course, yourself too, Randy.
Oh, really? Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nider for taking a whole lot of time here, as this match is for $4,000. Winner taking home $8,000, runner-up $4,000, and the trophy.
Great shot there. Right back on it.
Both players have a max score of 211, Randy.
One more strike here. All the pressure back on Bill O'Neill. He will be working on a double. And the match will be tied. Pretty good shot the last time on this left lane, leaving that shaker 10. The big mistake, obviously, missing the 10-pin, the first missed spare we've seen tonight. Remember, splits and washouts don't count.
Shot of the match for Nidiffer.
Well, I'll tell you what, this pair is broken down and turned out to be ugly with a capital U. I mean ugly. Talk about over-under. The players move in just a pinch. The ball goes 68 feet, even though the lane's only 60 feet long. They move a little bit right. The ball wants to check at their toes and go through the face. And that's the way the pairs has broken down based on the way the players have played the lanes and how they practiced on them.
Yeah, the practice.
Remember the practice that the players get in between games? I mean, this has turned out to be ugly.
Nidiffer can shoot 191. O'Neill 211. Critical match, or shot in the match, excuse me, here in the 9th frame for Bill O'Neill. Special thanks to Louis Wemmett from Storm as well, who is here, who's been giving us these great shots here just off to the right side as we look at Bill O'Neill's style.
It's a great look.
Well, there's the shaker.
Yeah, and there's Back-to-back strikes on the right lane for Bill O'Neill. He's got to finish on the left lane. He struck once on it. If I'm confused, what do you think the players are going through right now in terms of how to play the left lane? They either go through the nose or they go light. Craig Nidiffer did hit the pocket in the 7th frame on that left lane, only to leave that shaker 10. O'Neill went 2-8 the last time on this left lane. He's got to come with his best shot right here. He can lock up the match.
Can Bill O'Neill strike here to lock it up? Wrapped in.
What a shot. Came with his A game and his A shot of the match, and just to leave a vicious ringing 10. Needs to convert here and then strike to force Craig Nidiffer to strike out in the 10th frame to tie. You started this tie business way back when,
Yeah.
and your wish may come true.
Well, Bill O'Neill needs to clean it up here, make another great shot, and force Nidiffer to do so.
We come back with one just like it and hope and pray that the 6-pin does what it's supposed to do.
It's been a grind tonight. We started out with higher scores. Nidiffer shot 250 in this first match. Rob Gotchall and Adam Barta were getting to the pocket with no problem whatsoever. But as the night has gone on, these lanes have certainly transitioned for the worse.
Well,
so through the face for a 3-pin.
Craig Nidiffer can step up now and strike out in the 10th frame and win by 1. He struck in the 8th, and he struck in the 6th on this right lane. This could be big trouble for Bill O'Neill, but
well, this is a perfect situation for any bowler. This is like bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 strikes, full count, and here comes the heater, Ricky. Are you going to hit it out of the park? He's got 3 shots he's got to make, starting right here with the first one, the 10th.
oh,
And a wrap 10 is going to give this title to Bill O'Neill.
both players back-to-back ringing 10s in the 10th frame. And this was just a survival test for both. Craig Nidiffer bowling great, throwing a great shot in the 10th frame, but not to be Bill O'Neill when sitting on the bench. You got to look back at that 7th frame when he missed the 10-pin.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the difference in this match.
Yeah, and Craig Nidiffer has bowled this event a couple of times now. He's finished in the top 5 twice. Craig Nidiffer is going to receive $4,000, and Bill O'Neill has come to St. Louis. He has proven that he is one of the best in the game right now, and he has been able to come out on top on this great large field here in St. Louis. Bill O'Neill, your 2013 Storm InsideBowling.com Open champion. When we come back, we are going to talk to Bill O'Neill and find out what it means to him to win the 2013 Storm InsideBowling.com Open. We'll be right back.
What does this win mean to you? I mean, you came in, you bowled this great event, lots of money on top for an event like this. What does this win mean?
I mean, it's always a great feeling to win, but when you can win a tournament that has this, field, it's a quality field. You bowled 16 games today. It was a long day. It was grueling, and these are the formats I love. I love when it's not a sprint. You can get out there and you let your talent show over 16 games.
Bill, thanks very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Mike Flanagan.
What a great event. I cannot tell everybody enough how much I appreciate all of you watching this weekend and being part of this thing as we continue to try to strive to do more and more things with InsideBowling.com, as we had our first live telecast with commercials, and as we try to embrace into new things. We do appreciate it. I want to at this point in time, thank my entire staff here at the Bowling Center, and I also want to thank all of my staff here with InsideBowling.com, as well as the folks from Storm. As we get ready for a check presentation, you see Tino DeFranco and Ray Bluth, the proprietors here at the Bowling Center. We're going to do the check and trophy presentation. You know, a lot of hard work went into this thing, and the pattern creating, the signage, the Vince Feelers, the Randy Pedersens coming in town, the Roger Norhooks, the Jerry Andersons helping run the event. I just couldn't do it without my team. There's no question about that. I was really happy to see that Bill O'Neill was able to win this tournament. It was a grind out. Obviously, it was not easy, and it looks like Randy is just about ready with the check presentation.
Hi, everybody. We're back again with our champion, Bill O'Neill, and to present the check of $8,000, the co-proprietors here, Tino DeFranco and PBA Hall of Famer Ray Bluth. Tino, you have a few words for Bill?
Bill, congratulations. This is what they mean by big money, I guess, right here. You did a great job.
Ray, what'd you think of Bill's performance today?
It reminded me of years ago. He was fantastic. When he left that 10 pin, I thought he was going to lose, and this guy left 10 pin. I thought, oh my God, it was a fantastic finish.
Ray, thanks very much. We're going to bring in the marketing director for Storm now. Guys, go ahead and step off with that big check. Bill, I'm sure that Tino's going to hold it for you and cash it for you. So Roger, let's have you step in here. Roger Nordic, the marketing director of Storm, has got a nice trophy for you.
Congratulations, Bill. Good bowling.
That's all?
That's it.
How about on behalf of Storm, I'd like to present you with this half a bowling ball. Did you not have anything prepared?
No, but it was a great event. Bill, you bowled good all week, and congratulations from Storm Bowling.
All right. Thanks, Roger. Guys, let's send it back to Mike Flanagan.
Thank you very much, Randy Pedersen. That's going to conclude our coverage here from St. Louis. It's been a very long weekend, and I know I've been thanking everybody a million times, but it really was about 50 to 60 people that put in at least 20 hours of work in this whole thing, from getting bleachers to bring into the Bowling Center. We will be back with this event again next year. We will be back with more events. Please check out our website for our live streaming schedule. We'll be at the Grand Boot Hill. We will be at the Proprietors Cup. Bill O'Neill just won a free entry. We'll see if he'll be able to use that free entry provided by Billy Isolt and those at the Proprietors Cup. And always, and as always, we definitely want to thank Brian Burkhart for all the hard work that he does. He directed this whole thing and put in a lot of time and effort into putting all this forward. Inside Bowling is nothing without him. He makes me look good, and we look forward to seeing everybody come back and bowl in this thing again next year. So with that, this is going to be our last few seconds here on the broadcast. We have streamed for close to 40 hours this weekend, and we've only gotten about 2 or 3 hours sleep. But as you see, everyone down here celebrating, having a great time. It's a great scene here in St. Louis. Tropicana Lanes. I am Mike Flanagan on behalf of my entire staff. Randy Pedersen, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, all the folks at Storm, Tropicana Lanes, and InsideBowling.com. We wish you a good night from St. Louis, and thanks for being part of our very first ever real live broadcast. Congratulations to Bill O'Neill one more time. A great champion, and we're happy to have him as our 2013 champion.